Good morning and welcome to PNB Sports Show. I'm Arako Tom, and today we break down one of football's fiercest rivalries on the biggest early season stage, the Spanish Super Cup finals between Barcelona and Real Madrid. In a dramatic encounter in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Barcelona edged Real Madrid 3-2 to claim the 2026 Super Cup de España title, their 16th crown in this competition. Barcelona's victory was built on key moments, big performances, and a relentless drive from their attacking unit, and it gives them momentum heading deeper into the season. Joining me in the studio are Abel Sunday and our in-house football analyst, Ero John, a renowned sports analyst from Benin City. Gentlemen, welcome. Let's get into the journey. Both teams made to reach this fierce finals and what it means for the rest of their campaign. For the journey to the finals, Barcelona's path termed Athletic Club 5-0, showcasing sharp attacking play, fluid movement, and clinical finishing from all attacking lines. These emphatic semi-finals gave them confidence and a statement win heading into the finals. In the final, Barcelona again demonstrated resilience and adaptability, opening the scoring and responding immediately to Real Madrid's strike before ultimately sealing the win. Their relentless attacking intent and ability to create and finish chances under pressure defined their run. And for Real Madrid's route to the final, it seemed tougher and more physical. In the semi-final, Carlo Ancelotti's side edged Atletico Madrid 3-1 in a tense Madrid derby. It was a match decided by moments rather than dominance. Madrid relied heavily on midfield control and experience and individual brilliance, especially in transition. Unlike Barcelona's free-flowing semi-final performance, Madrid's journey was about survival, control, and game management, conserving energy and trusting their big game pedigree. That contrast in journey, Barcelona's dominance versus Madrid's pragmatism, set the tone for what we eventually saw in the finals. Ero, what is your take on what happened in the finals between Barcelona and Real Madrid?
Okay, good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
For having us again on the live speaking with you. I will say this emphatically that the match played on Sunday is for the first time in a couple of years, for the first time, I'm speaking on a personal basis, for the first time in about 5 to 6 years, I witnessed the El Clasico that I grew up to know. Yes, that was a proper El Clasico. The El Clasicos that we have been watching ever since Ronaldo and Messi left La Liga, they've always been a one-sided encounter. No matter who wins, if it's Real Madrid that wins, it's always been one-sided. It has never been so intense. It has never been so packed filled with drama. You can imagine a final show 4 goals in 5 minutes, or 4 goals in about 7 minutes. That's the El Clasico we used to know. A keenly contested encounter, a fierce one, a match that you cannot sit down and just predict that, oh, this thing is going to win. Not a match where Barcelona is defeated about this 4 times in one season in a domineering and intimidating manner. So, for me, the match was a delight. It brought back the memories of the proper El Clasico that we used to know, right from the days of Ronaldinho, not even from the days of Lionel Messi. So, but then again, that match in particular, I knew at some point in the game that it was going to go Barcelona's way for 2 reasons. I'm going to tell you the 2 reasons quickly. You see, I always tell people that there is a slight way that history gets to play a role in some of these things. I never knew until few minutes to the match that Hans Flick has never lost the final. I didn't know that. I got to find out about 5 minutes before the match that Hans Flick has never lost the final in his managerial career. And I told myself, is he going to lose one now to Real Madrid? A Real Madrid side that even when it is not a final, he knows how to hit them. Since he took over as Barcelona, he has only lost once to Real Madrid. And I think he has played them about 5 or 6 times. So it was already a thing of concern for me, sincerely. And I always know that there's one thing that Barcelona have been very good at. It's the fact that I'm not a Barcelona fan, neither am I a Real Madrid fan. Barcelona has always had this very distinctive attack, right from onset, right from long before now. They may have a very porous and poor defense. I don't think they've had the spectacular defense since the likes of Puyo and Pico retired. They've not had the spectacular defense lineup, but you see their attack. Don't worry, they know. I think it was Mr. Abel I was discussing with one time, and he said the strength of Barcelona is that if you score them four, they are expecting that they are going to score you eight. That's the strength of Barcelona. If you score four, they will score six. So no matter how many goals you score against them, the rest assured that they have the attack that is as good as
Okay.
scoring double of those goals.
Okay.
So the match was the same, part of the proper one, and then kudos to the team that won. It just pained me that Xavi also lost his job after that match. Yeah.
Okay, so this is very painful for some teams, and you will agree with me, Mr. Abel, as well. So coming to you, Abel, what is your first take, or what was your first take as soon as the match had ended?
Well, I think everyone have said it all, but to be honest, I think when they say Barcelona was fidgeting and was, I think they dropped point at some point during the league. I think the first half of the league, I beg your pardon. You could see that is the absence of Rafinha. You could see his input in this final. I think it's called like 2 goals or thereabouts. You could see his input, Rafinha. You could see his input on the finals. Then talking about the manager, the pedigree of the manager. I think they have 2 world-class managers. There's no two with them, but it's quite unfortunate that Xabi Alonso had to be on the whipping side. But like I rightly said, I think it's a perfect El Clasico that you really want to watch, because 2 teams really outplayed each other. You could see the goals that were coming, classic goals as well, that they were able to score. Just like what he said again now, and I still quote, the days of Ronaldo and also Messi. That is when you really see what El Clasico look like. But unfortunately, when they left, it's something now becomes so one-sided. But I think Real Madrid fans will really not take this. Like it's a bitter defeat for them, and that the whole reaction since on Sunday is a very, very bitter defeat for them, because since Flick came in, I think it has been Barcelona winning all through. Last season was bad. Was very, very bad. I think this season was even somehow something you could even watch, but last season was very, very bad. But I think that's all I have to say about the game.
Okay, fantastic. Errol, coming back to you, we saw Barcelona, they were pressing, and they targeted specifically at Madrid's right side. We also noticed that Madrid's narrow shape invited pressure instead of relieving it, because I think one thing for Madrid is that they thought that coming in narrow will actually help them to be able to handle the pressure that Barcelona was going to put on them. But Errol, in your own opinion, tactically speaking, was Barcelona better prepared for these finals than Real Madrid?
Yes, sincerely, yes. Tactically speaking, Barcelona was better prepared than Real Madrid, and I have a problem with that because Xabi Alonso, I'm going to disagree with Mr. Abel, which I said he's a world-class coach. I don't think he's a world-class coach. Yes, he has won a trophy or 2. He did an unbeaten run at the German league, but I will not call him world-class as of now. I don't think he belongs to that league yet. He may become world-class later in the future. He's a good coach. I'm not going to dispute that. But I expect this stuff. You see, I have played a particular thing about 5 times now. I have lost 4 times to them. I lost 4 times in one season to them. And then I want to play them again. And I'm coming again with the same approach. It does not make any out of sense for me. And Flick is a very tactical German coach. He's a tactician. The Italian coaches and German coaches, they are known for being everything tactical. I expect Xabi Alonso to come up with a different approach. The approach is also predictable. So, like you have rightly asked, and I'm going to say, I feel like Barcelona had a better tactical approach to the game than Real Madrid. And we saw it play out. Despite the fact that, Barcelona at some point, they also were sloppy Madrid capitalized on some loopholes. So be very sincere with you. If you even check the goals that Real Madrid scored, you'll see that, okay, for example, the goal that Vinicius Junior scored, that was a solo goal. That was nothing, it had nothing to do with tactics. It was a solo goal. So that was individual brilliance playing out. But go and check the goals that Barcelona scored, Barcelona's second goal. You see tactical setup, you see tactical play. Everything is in display. So I think that Real Madrid should have come to that game with a better approach. They should have declared a better means approaching that game than they did. Because I feel like at some points in the game, especially when the match ended on the 2-2 draw at halftime, I think going back to the dressing room, I expected both teams to come up in the second half with an entirely different plan. Because at some points, it looked like both teams are able to read each other's pattern and each other's actions in the game. So it was a better tactical display from Barcelona, yes.
Ero, when it comes to the Madrid midfield, some will say that the Madrid midfield was extremely porous. And Barcelona basically capitalized on Madrid's midfield. What is your take on Madrid's midfield at the moment? And what changes do you think they have to make instead of making it as narrow as it was?
Okay. I think personally, the Madrid midfield over time, they've not been their best. Sincerely, they've not been their best. I think there's something lacking in the midfield. You see, they have not been able to replicate a Toni Kroos or a Luka Modric, and it's a problem. Yes. And when I always tell people that I know I'm going to get criticized by the listeners for this. I don't rate Jude Bellingham. Yes, personally, it's a personal opinion. Yes, I don't rate him. And the reason I don't rate him is this: it's because of games like this. In the match on Sunday, it was as good as the Bellingham did not play. And these are the games where you are needed most. These are the games where the likes of Luka Modric, the likes of Toni Kroos, these are the kind of games where you see them the most. And then you are nowhere to be found. And this is the player that, as a matter of fact, the Madrid midfield right now, the Madrid midfield workload rests on Jude Bellingham. So I think Madrid needs to look into getting more midfield options because, as a matter of fact, they have presently in the midfield, they have the very young stars. Jude Bellingham is a very young player. Eduardo Camavinga is a very young player. So Ameni is a very young player. They now even have to, at some point, they have to play Valverde in the midfield position to play midfield. Valverde is not a natural midfielder. But Valverde also is a young player. So I think the midfield of Real Madrid presently lacks a bit of proper experience. Permit me to use that word. Lacks a bit of proper experience. So you look at Barcelona midfield. They may not be so. You have a very young Pedri, but you have a Frenkie de Jong who is more experienced. I mean, Frenkie de Jong has been there for quite a number of years now. He has gathered a number of experiences. You understand? So that's a blend. You cannot compare it to a midfield where they are all in their 21, 22, 21, 22, 21. It's not proper. It won't still support results, especially when you are playing against the big fishes. Talent is beautiful, talent is lovely, but then experience also matters. I'm not saying they should go and make a 30-year-old midfielder. No, you need to just bring in somebody because some of these young players, they are not used to handling pressure. They can't handle so much pressure, especially when it comes from the big team. And yesterday, one of Barcelona's strengths is their midfield. Don't allow Pedri to be in his A game. When the likes of Pedri, they are in their A game. They are best you can, there's little or nothing you can do to them. So that was the problem. And like you have rightly said, I think they need to look into their midfield options. I learned that they have a new coach, Abeloa. I think he has to look into that area and they have to improve in any way they can. Yeah.
Okay. Abel, you could see Barcelona's attack. It seemed like they were extremely fantastic. We could see Rafinha. Rafinha was fantastic as well. He was named player of the match as well. What is your take on this player, Rafinha, and his performance?
Super. When I started out the first time I was speaking, I talked about Rafinha, how spectacular he was. And even with the injury worries, when he was off the team, you could see this, you could see that the team actually felt his impact. Because when he was his absence, I beg your pardon, when he was away, he felt his absence. And coming back, you see that he started doing what he started from where he left. Where he left, he continued from where he left the pitch before he put for injury. But talking about Rafinha in this finals, and you cannot really take anything away from him because he's just one of the driver in this attacking force, and you could see that he gives everything, and that shows I think the kind of mentality that NC Flicks has been able to build in this his team, and you could see that they know what this means to them, and they want to get it by all means. But talking about Xabi Alonso, I think sacking him by this time, well, it's Real Madrid we're talking about. They don't think it's not Manchester United that will just do for. I'm sorry to use that compare.
It's fine, it's fine.
But this is Real Madrid we're talking about. They don't take any nonsense. When you pull one back, they give you that chance to pull up two back. The next thing you are fired straight. It's not like Manchester United that will keep you for over one season to still hopeful, be hopeful. I think it's still Tinubu's renewed hope that they are renewed hope agenda. They are hope that the manager is going to wake up and do something better. But that is on the lighter note. But I think to be honest, Tom, I think since Hansi Flick came to Barcelona, he has improved that team drastically.
Okay. Then when there's another player that a lot of people have been talking about, and that is Vinicius Junior. My God, he was fantastic. What is your take on Vinicius Junior?
Vinicius Junior is also a good player. You know what? The reason why many people frown at him is because of his because of his attitude sometimes. So that's why they don't really like fancy one. To be honest, he's one of the. You know when they say somebody, everyone will understand. Everyone is a coach. Everyone understand what I'm saying. You know there are some players that are very stubborn. Like naturally they are very stubborn people. But so you as a coach you try to channel that character into the game. You understand? And you could see Vinicius Junior is a very very stubborn person outside the pitch. Normally his character is a very stubborn person, but try to channel that character into the game, and that's why I'm seeing him like that. Very rebellious. When he come out and with nothing. He does not look back. He carries everybody around, and he do all the work. If you see his work rate, honestly, it's very, very impressive. So in that sense, you see him, and you see when Eru was talking about Bellingham. Honestly, to be honest with you guys, I think Bellingham is overrated, and maybe because he's an English player, so the press, you know what they do. They try to over. That's why I was telling somebody that if Osimhen was a white person, he would have won Ballon d'Or.
That's very true.
Because he's an African, that is why everybody's just looking at him like that, and nobody wants to. But if you see the way he plays, the way he carries the team in his shoulder, honestly, he's one of the best players in Real Madrid.
Well, he scored a solo goal for Real Madrid against rivals Barcelona in the Super Cup finals. But we are going to be leaving Vinicius Junior right now, and we'll be coming to you, Ero John, because it seems like you are the star of the moment on the P&B Sports Show. Ero, which coach do you think had the best tactics? And both Ancelotti and both coaches, who do you what did they do that actually fascinated you on both sides?
Okay, I think Hansi Flick got the better tactics in the game. As a matter of fact, any coach that wins a match, to me, has better tactics because that's why you won. Except the game, because in football there's something called against the run of play. Except the game goes against the run of play. But the match on Sunday was not against the run of play. Barcelona were the better side. So I think Hansi Flick got the better tactics. That's to answer that. Then your other question was, sorry, I didn't get that. What was your other question?
What did both coaches do that fascinated you the most?
Okay. So what Barcelona did that fascinated me the most was this. You see, when the game ended in a draw at halftime, coming into the second half, I expected Real Madrid to come all out against Barcelona. But I discovered that Barcelona were not relentless. They were relentless, rather. They were not They didn't sit back. They didn't try to contract the play. They wanted to get more goals. They came all out again. They continued their high press, their high line, and I was so amazed. I was not expecting that sincerely. Going by judging by the fact that they say that okay, Real Madrid is matching us bumper to bumper. Maybe we should try and play a more conservative pattern, hold on to the ball for long, and you understand, try
Yes.
to knock the ball and score. But never. They still came all out. Everybody was out on the pitch. Everybody was, and that was really fantastic. I must confess, that was essentially a fantastic one for me. After Real Madrid, what did Real Madrid really do that fascinated me? I sincerely did not expect Real Madrid to score 2 goals in that game.
So the goals fascinated you.
They sincerely fascinated me. Sincerely, I think I expect Real Madrid to score 2 goals. I'm just being sincere with you because I don't know. I don't know. I think Hansi Flick just has cure for Xavi Alonso and Real Madrid. So I was just the same way. No matter how bad Aston Villa is under Henry, he has a way of getting the results against Arsenal and against Mikel Arteta of Arsenal. So there are just some things that are stable. There are some players that are like that. So I sincerely commend Real Madrid that at least they scored 2. They gave up a 5. They put up a show. That was beautiful. That was a lovely performance. And I
Okay.
must also give kudos to the Barcelona goalkeeper, Garcia. That guy was spectacular. He made some very crucial saves in the closing minutes of the game that kept Barcelona in the lead. And I must commend him. You see, at such a young age, you are able to put up with pressure. Personally, I expected Barcelona to start with Shelby in that game, maybe because of experience,
Experience.
age factor, he has played in more exactly. But then having Hansi Flick trust the young goalkeeper, and then the guy obviously did not let him down. That was a beautiful.
Fantastic, fantastic, Errol. Fantastic. Back to you, Abel. How does this actually affect Real Madrid moving forward psychologically?
Well, I think it might be blessing in disguise, to be honest, because when teams change managers like this, sometimes they tend to just like what happened to Chelsea when they brought is it LVB? I can't remember when they brought I'm trying to get the name now. Is it when Chelsea?
Errol, you should know this. You are a Chelsea fan and fanatic.
When they brought him in,
Are
he
you
took
talking
them to
about
win the
Villa
Champions League.
Di Matteo?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, he took them to win the Champions League, and when they brought, I just meet him. They brought him. Yes, and he won the Champions League. So sometimes when you bring manager within this half of the mid-season, it tends to boost and again the other advantage they have now, I think, is still January. You can sign players now. The window is open now to sign players. So the manager that is coming in can also see how to fortify the team and see how to them. But so again, it might be blessing in disguise. But if I were to be in the board, I think I might just still want to trust Alonso. This is his first season. You might look at what happened to Arsenal. Arsenal has been woeful first, but I know Real Madrid can never wait for that one. It's not possible. They can never wait. But Arsenal was trusting Arteta for 4 years. But you could see the evidence. Now he has settled. You understand? You look at Arsenal. Arguably, Arsenal should be one of the best in the world right now. They are talking the Champions League.
Well,
they are talking
Abel.
So I think if I were to be in the board, I would have advised them to still keep faith with them.
Abel.
But it might be blessing in disguise.
Abel, it's quite unfortunate that you are not on the board and Alonso is nowhere to be found. It's quite unfortunate. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your insights and your analysis on Real Madrid and Barcelona's journey to the finals and also on their performance during the finals. Now we'll be moving to our Athlete of the Day segment. Our athlete of the day is Rafinha, and it's well deserved. The Brazilian winger has quietly evolved into one of Barcelona's most decisive players since arriving from Leeds United. Rafinha has grown from a new wide attacker into a complete modern winger, disciplined defensively, explosive offensively, and fearless in big moments. In this Super Cup campaign, Rafinha was instrumental, constantly stretched Real Madrid's defense, created overloads on the right flank, delivered decisive action in key moments. Beyond the goals and assists, his work rate, pressing intensity, and tactical discipline stood out. Rafinha didn't just play the finals, he influenced it. That is why he is our athlete of the day. Well, for more insights, follow us on all our social media platforms. On YouTube at Politics&BusinessTV.English, Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, Instagram at PNBTV_ENG, and on X at PNBTV_ENG. And that wraps up our deep dive into the Spanish Super Cup finals, where Barcelona once again showed why tactical clarity, intensity, and execution still wins trophy. My thanks to Abel Sunday and Ero joined for their insights today. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. My pleasure, as always.
This has been PNB Sports Show. I'm Arako Tom, and we'll be back with more elite analysis, sharper debates, and stories that shape the game. Stay with us. Good morning, and enjoy your day.